streaming. I don't feel like I'm streaming. I feel more brookish.
So you're going.
Oh, I'm going.
Yeah.
All right. See, I don't feel the stream. I feel the brook.
You don't feel one
brook?
with the universe yet?
No, more like a river. River of love.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? This is the Genesee County Compassion Club show. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today here at allpointstv.com. And rocking out in the studio with me is John, the man behind the camera, the man here at All Points TV. And hey, man, this is an awesome week. It's finally starting to warm up. It's not quite above freezing yet, but, you know, hey, it's just the beginning of March, so you can't ask for too much. But at least it's not Arctic, right? So, but hey, glad to be here with you guys this week. Got some announcements for you, let you know what's going down at the Genesee County Compassion Club. And it's been, I was just talking to John. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, dude, a lot of stuff. I started talking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Why don't you just listen to the podcast, John? You'll find out what's going down at the club.
I mean, I'm serious. So you just listed off like 5 things.
I know.
Wow.
It's a busy time. And yet it's not. You know, you just got to chill. Go with the flow. So that's what I'm talking about. The river there. You just got to go with the flow. It's better than streaming. It's flowing. All right, what do we got here? Let's see. Just had the soup kitchen down at the North End Soup Kitchen here in Flint. Matt Bernash, all the guys down there volunteered, hooked it up, served up some coney dogs. It's freaking awesome. Man, it makes me hungry. I love coney dogs, and I know Matt does a great job of preparing the food, so I'm sure they were ultra delicious. But thanks for everybody down there for helping out. Also, I heard that we had about $500 in donations for the soup kitchen as well, so that's spectacular. And I know that a portion of that went specifically to the babies of the soup kitchen, which is a kind of little extra thing that Karen's kind of helped kick start off, which is phenomenal. And so that's killer. I mean, you guys make that happen, and we couldn't do it without you. So, you know, being a good example in the community is what we want to try to be, and you guys do that. You do that. It's sweet. Thank you. All right, so next soup kitchen that's coming up, just a reminder, it is the 4th Friday of every month, easy to remember, and that'll be March 27th if you need a date. So a few more weeks away for that next one to come up. You can sign up at the snack bar, and we only need a handful of volunteers, so it's kind of like limited space, but we like to see fresh faces. So if you haven't done it before, consider volunteering. You do get fed as a part of the deal, so that's pretty cool. And it only takes about 3, maybe 4 hours, usually from 2 to 5, so it's a nice afternoon. And, you know, it's going to be warming up at the end of March, so it'll be a little nicer weather. You can get out of the house, blah, blah, blah. So, all right. Rocking and rolling. Next thing that we got coming up at the club, next big event, of course, is the 420. Big 420 party. We are going to be doing it on April 20th. I know some of you were wondering because it's a Monday, and the club's not normally open on a Monday, but we said we don't care. Last year, we had to modify the 420 date. We're not doing that this year. We're going to celebrate on 420. We're doing it on the Monday, and it's going to rock. We're going to do it like we did the previous years. We're going to have some awesome events, food, catered food, all that jazz. There's going to be, you know, just a mass of fun, really. There's going to be the open at 10, do the caregiving till about 4, and we cut it down, and then we do our contest. We've got a twist off. We've got our best rolls. And I think we're going to be doing some testing this year. I know last year we were hoping to have that running, but we didn't quite get it going. This year should be no reason why we can't rock that. So we should be having our best cannabis tested and have our cup going on also at the 420 party. So this year, this should be spectacular. So you want to mark your calendars, April 20th, plan for the 420 party. And tomorrow, if you guys see this podcast by then, which would be, let's see, let me look at the calendar here, March 5th. You guys have your member meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. over at the Ed Center. You guys take part in that, and we are looking for ideas as far as events and fun things that we can do at the 420 party. And next meeting, the one that's going to happen tomorrow, March 5th, that's the one that we really need your input on. So show up tomorrow for the member meeting. We'd love to hear from you, and we want to know what we could have. You know, I was talking to a couple of the guys. We had the jousting in the past, the inflatable jousting pit. We've had the mechanical bull. We had the cash cube. So we've had a lot of fun things, but I think this year we've got to do something new. We got to do something, I don't know, take it to the next level. You know, I'm thinking like maybe an inflatable pit with sumo suits. What do you think? Does that sound like fun, John? Sumo suits? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that'd be okay. I mean, I understood the whole thing of sumo anyway, but it's fun to watch people do that, get in the big oversized costumes.
Yeah, I recently was at a outdoor Rama, the outdoor expo show down in Novi, and they had this thing where it was like a giant inflatable, almost like a hamster ball, and you get inside of it and you can roll around, and that looked like a blast. So I don't know where you rent one of those things at, but I'm sure we could find it.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, that would. I bet you a lot of people would be barfing though. They get spun around and they're too fast.
Right on, like, yeah. Gonna need some motion sickness, Dramamine or something like that. But it looked awesome to me, and that's the kind of stuff we're looking for events ideas, whatever you guys can think of. We did the pie in the face one year, so it doesn't have to be extravagant. It just needs to be fun, something that we can participate in and have a blast doing. So whatever ideas you can think of, let us know. If you can't make it to the meeting, just let somebody up at the snack bar or the security station, let them know what your idea is. We're always looking to have your guys' input. So all right, moving on here. I want to get to the caregiver, and I keep saying caregiver. What I really should say is member, because that's what you guys all are. You're members of the club. Doesn't matter if you're a caregiver or a patient. And, that's the same when it comes to testing. Doesn't really matter if you're a patient or a caregiver. If you're growing this stuff, that's what counts. So this week, our member in the testing unit who rocked it, his name is Matt. And that's member number, let me get this right here. Let's see, 10146. So Matt, 10146, you rocked the testing lab last week. Thank you very much. Your test results came in for your XXX Sugar Rose. And here's the numbers: 21.94 THC, 0.27 CBC, 0.24 CBD, 1.04 CBG, and 0.25 CNN. I didn't even know CNN News. Did you know CNN, the network, is a CBD?
No, I don't know what that is. Now, what would that be associated with, that kind of compound?
It's a cannabinoid.
Yeah, but I mean, what activity?
It'd be associated with weed.
Yeah, but I mean, I know that. But I mean, okay, beneficial effects kind of stuff. What would that
honestly,
impact on?
John, like right now we're testing for, I think, at least 5 different cannabinoids that I know of, if not more. And it is, honestly, it's a little difficult to keep track of what all these different cannabinoids do. And I think what you really need to do, the best way to look at this is like, what is it that you're using it for? Find out which cannabinoid is best for that, and then seek out those strains. That's the best advice I could give you. But when it comes to overall quality, having something like this total here is 23.74. So Matt, again, 10146, you rock. XXX Sugar Rose is the name of the strain, and a total of 23.74. It's off the charts, man. I mean, years ago, anything above 20% was just like unheard of. And now, people like Matt are out there rocking it and making it happen. I had another person come up to me in the club, another member named Mark, and he had just missed the mark for this last week. His results were, I think, 23.07. So just shy of this XXX Sugar Rose. So he's not the only one. I mean, you guys are rocking it in the club. The quality that we have right now is unsurpassed, and it's being validated, which is so cool. So, and speaking of that, I wanted to mention, we had just recently sent our 2 test fellas, Mr. Sean and Mr. Jason, both down to a factory training. So this is actually part of the machine that we use, Advent, which is the company that we go through. They had a seminar, and this was a few days. I want to say it was 3 days down in Georgia. And we sent the 2 guys down there to get factory certified to maintain and operate that machine. So, when people say, well, you guys don't have a chemical degree fella back there or a PhD working that machine, so how can you be sure how accurate it is? Well, we've gone through great lengths to ensure its accuracy, and this was one of those things that we've done. And so these guys are factory certified technicians now to operate this mass spec machine that we're using to test your material, so you can be assured that it's absolutely accurate. And I think it's awesome that these guys are certified now. That's super cool. They also, Sean, our lab tech fella there, just came back, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, from a testing seminar. And I think I mentioned this on a previous podcast. And this was based out in San Francisco. And it was just different groups of testers, if you will, from around the country. And these, of course, are cannabis-based testing that we're talking about here. But it was put on by the chemical companies, the companies that use, provide the substrates for the testing materials. So this wasn't done by High Times or something like that. This was done by, science-based people who are specific in the business of testing and in testing in general, not just, specific to cannabis, although in this particular seminar, that's what it was all about. So Sean went out there, got even further educated, got us enrolled in a national testing sort of conglomerate to set forth what eventually will become hopefully a national standard for testing. So when you talk about how do you go through and make sure that all your methods of testing are accurate and standardized across the board, well, right now across the board there isn't a standardized method of testing. There's a lot of different ways to cook the egg, if you will. And what they're trying to do is come up with a method that's going to be uniform across the country for testing cannabis, and we're going to be enrolled in that as well and trying to get that developed and trying to get that standard set. So that's super cool. We are going great lengths to make sure that we're doing the best job for you when it comes to this testing stuff. And actually, I think we're going to be sending Sean out to more training here in the near future. But we'll talk about that more in the future. At any rate, congratulations to Matt, 10-146, Triple X Sugar Rose, 23 plus. It's killer stuff, man. In fact, I'd like to find out exactly just how killer it is. Can I get a sample? Can I get a sample? John wants a sample.
Yeah.
John, he doesn't even smoke.
Oh, yeah, it's like, I like to see the effects on you, maybe, or some a patient, you know.
Yeah.
But see, I know, I'm thinking when you said that, when I asked that question about what this particular, chemical compound would have an impact on something.
Yes.
You, actually, as I was thinking about that, prescription drugs, they might have something that's like in the line of, say, of a tranquilizer, and it's not effective for an individual, but another tranquilizer really, does the trick for them. That's the same way probably with any kind of chemical, and that's what you're basically dealing with, some kind of chemical compound, and there's such a complexity there because there's a myriad of them in each, plant, and each strain has a different, strength level, all those things.
That's right, a different makeup of those cannabinoids and different strength levels of it as well. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And now you're seeing different pharmaceutical companies out there cater to these specific cannabinoids, such as like Sativex, which is a 50-50 ratio of THC and CBD. But you're going to see in the future, I think you're going to see even a further expansion of that, where they are utilizing things like CBG and CNN, like we were just talking about, these other cannabinoid compounds. And you have to realize, there's over, I think, 66 different identified cannabinoid type compounds, and they're still discovering more. So this is something that is it's still on the brink of new information and all of that. So it's exciting to see exactly how are these going to be beneficial to mankind and work out in the medicinal realm. All right, moving on here, I got a little quick announcement. Just want to let you guys know, one of our members, real cool guy, his name's Justin, works over at Happy Harvesters. His band, Fall of Us, they're going to be playing at Churchill's on Saturday, March 7th. So if you guys like to hang out at Churchill's, like to hear some good rock music, check these guys out. They're playing with the Finale and the Saturday Night Gypsies. Fall of Us. I've checked out their CD. I can tell you it's good rock. If you like stuff that you can bang your head to, and it also kind of, talks about things that are going on in today's world, stuff that's relevant, good tunes, check them out. All right. What else we got going on here? Man, it's springtime. We've got, all kinds of stuff going on in the news. Captain Spock just passed away, so sorry to hear that. John, I know you probably had a day of mourning.
Yeah, I actually did. I felt really bad because, he was just different. That whole thing, people really don't realize how much of an impact Star Trek had on the ensuing generations.
Absolutely.
It's like Shatner had a book, how Bill Shatner changed the world. They had a TV series out for a while. I think it was for the History Channel. But they talked about, it wasn't really him. It was actually the vision of Gene Roddenberry. But, if you look at the original cell phones, they were flip phones. They were just like the communications device on Star Trek. So
there you go.
And let's face it, the idea of
I'm sure, one day it will be this right here. Boop, boop.
Yeah. Well, actually, they have them. They have them. They have small devices. They actually have wristwatches, but they don't market them as well.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, there was a commercial on TV where they had wristwatches, almost like the Dick Tracy type.
Oh, they got them.
Yeah.
A couple guys at the club have them.
Yeah. So
Yep.
So
Get your phone call. All
yeah.
That. Yeah.
So there's a lot of that stuff,
but you need to have your little polo logo.
Yeah.
You just push the horsey. Boop, boop. Talking to your wife, like, yeah, you need some milk. All right, I'll bring it home. Boop, boop.
Yeah, I mean, and also it's how they locate their the crew members too in case of an accident.
Yeah, it's got GPS tracking, all of that.
Well, that's basically. Look at the phones though. We got
glorified SIM card.
Right, exactly, and that's what it is. And so it's not that it's possible to do. I just don't know why they haven't marketed yet. It's totally possible with the technology we got now.
It's coming. It's coming.
I can see it happening, but I think they should put it
for
on.
all you Trekkies out there, I'm sure you guys had a day of mourning Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce his
Leonard Nimoy, yeah.
Nimoy,
He was like he was a fascinating. The idea that
interesting character of a man.
The character he played, was phenomenal because.
I mean, the man himself is an interesting character. So
he was very, I really felt bad when he died, though. I mean, that's part of my childhood's gone now. Well, when DeForest Kelly died, it felt bad too, and James Doohan, the guy who played Scotty, he died too.
Yeah.
Over the years.
I was more hurt myself when the guy from A-Team.
Which one's that?
The plan comes together.
Yeah, he died?
Didn't he die?
I don't know. Is that Gregory Peck?
I was sad for him when he didn't die.
Oh, no.
Why isn't he on TV if he isn't dead?
I was going to say, I think Dirk Benedict's still alive.
That ever was. Gregory Peck.
And Dwight Schultz still alive. The guy who played, the helicopter pilot. He's still alive.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and also...
you talking about Murdoch?
Murdoch, yeah, Murdoch. I can remember his character's name, yeah.
Oh, dude, come on. What, you got a call in?
No, I just had somebody sent me a text.
Oh, we're getting the texts. Okay. All right. Other in the cannabis news, we talked last week with Eric. We were talking about Montrose and the decrim bill up there that did not pass. Ended up going down in flames. Had a 200 and some odd voter turnout. Looks like about only, really, about 35% were voting yes. So it's pretty strong no on the decrim bill there. And I think, again, talking back to last week's show, this sort of thing, I think I think folks are going to be more apt to want to go, hey, let's just legalize it. What is this decrim stuff? Doesn't make sense. It's one of these halfway measures. And I know we already have quite a few of them in Michigan that have already passed. A number of cities around the state have decrim measures. And, I think it does send a mixed message. You get a lot of folks say, well, is it legal now or is it not? It kind of like what's going on in Washington, D.C. A lot of you folks pay attention to what's going on in national news. And D.C. was one of the groups that legalized, in a sense, adult consumption and use. However, D.C.'s law that passed did not allow for the sale or commercial production of cannabis like what you see out in Colorado. So it's, again, sort of a mixed message use of, here, you guys can have this substance. You're welcome to use it, as long as you don't have too much of it. You can grow a few plants for yourself, but there's not going to be any commercial market for it. There's no sales allowed and so on and so forth. I think what this does is it exasperates a black market, because there's always going to be folks out there that are going to want the product that aren't going to provide it for themselves. There's going to be people that want it, too much of it and so on and so forth. They want to misuse the law that is being provided. So, is the decrim thing in D.C. a good thing? Yes, I think it is, because I don't want to see people going to jail for something that's harmless. But at the same time, I think we should take a look at, making this a viable product that's available in the marketplace and treated, appropriately with proper regulation and so forth. But at any rate, that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens. Colorado is obviously a good example. Legalization's been going on for well over a year now. The state's collected, I think, like some $50 million in tax revenue. So it's certainly been a bonus. I actually read an article, and I don't know if there's any truth to this or not, but some of the sales tax revenue that is collected from the cannabis use is automatically being redirected back into the educational funds in Colorado. However, a large portion of it is being directed right into the general coffers, the general fund of the state's tax revenue collection system out there. And what they're saying is at any time they enact a new law in Colorado that has tax revenue generation, it can only have a certain percentage be collected on that within the first year of its inception. So it's kind of a fallback rule to make sure that things aren't being overtaxed when they pass new laws. So this is a law that exists completely separate from the cannabis laws and all the things that went along enacting that. This is a law that they have on the books in general anytime something occurs in Colorado that accrues tax revenue and during the first year. So here we are, first year's over. The tax has been collected according to the percentage that was set forth, but now as a whole, looking back on it, it seems that they may have over-collected and that Coloradoans, if you will, may be receiving some sort of a tax refund because of this marijuana tax revenue that's been collected. So isn't that something? I mean, here you go. You got a huge tax-based generation system enacted into the state, another $50 million plus for the budget to work with, and actually collected so much that it broke the law. They took too much tax. I mean, it sucks for people that are paying the tax, but all in all, I think this is a positive on the industry. I think other states have to look at this in a positive light. And, if you look at the other states in the union, we're all struggling immensely and enormously with these budget setbacks that they continue to have, so on and so forth. So we don't need to get into all that today, but at any rate, I think when you look at this from a tax revenue-based generator, this is a plus. It's huge. I mean, it's going to do wonders for Colorado and the other states that take advantage of this opportunity. I think Michigan's foolish for not already considering this, and there has been quite a few bills that have been already introduced into this new 2015 Michigan State Legislative session, if you will. A lot of them are remnants of what happened last year. Some of them are new, but none of them are as progressive as what I'm talking about or as progressive as what Colorado has already done, and Alaska and some of these other states like Washington and so forth. I think our leaders here in Michigan need to step up, need to take a real look at this from an economic standpoint, both on the side of the tax revenue generation that could be there, and also on the side from the reduced expenses in law enforcement, so on and so forth, court costs, i.e., so forth. I think this is a huge bonus here that we should be looking at, and I'm dumbfounded that a lot of other state leaders in other states aren't also proposing similar measures, especially including the short gaps in the budgets that we're having right now. It seems to me like it's a carrot dangling there, and for most of the leaders, obviously, it's just too controversial. It's too much taboo attached to that carrot for them to latch onto it just yet. A few of them out there are doing so, but the whole is not there yet. I think with added pressure, I think with added business interest, you're going to see this wall eventually come down. And the question will be is just in what manner are we going to deal with this industry when it does come down? We'll have to see. Who knows? All right. I think that's about it. I don't have a whole lot of other news that's going on. I mean, you have a lot of other states right now that are in the same boat as we are as far as proposed legislation. A lot of these are states that do not have any certain exception for medicinal cannabis or for decrim or anything like that. So these are new states that we're looking to add on to the long list already existing of states that do have medicinal cannabis. States like Pennsylvania, Missouri, Kentucky, Ohio, Wisconsin, the list goes on. And in fact, almost every state out there in the union that doesn't have some sort of medical marijuana or marijuana already available to their public has legislation pending. So the wall is toppling down, I'm telling you. It's going to come down, and I think you're going to see some big changes here definitely within the next 2 years. So there we go. All right, other interesting stuff that's going on. I know that the Holistic Center next door is just about to be rocking. Probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, hopefully, we'll be serving up smoothies and sandwiches to you guys. I know that we just got the club recently cafe licensed, if you will, so we're back to serving the coffees and the espressos that you guys love. I think the espresso machine's on the fritz, but I know my man Patrick's getting it fixed here. But we're going to get the espressos rolling again, the cappuccinos, all the good stuff that you guys love. And then, like I said, in a couple weeks here, the Holistic Center will be back on the growing concern, as we like to call it, serving you guys all those fresh produce stuff from the farmer's market, the sandwiches, smoothies, the stuff that you guys want. We're going to be having it soon. I know our equipment's ordered. We're just waiting for those fixtures to get set in place. And as soon as they're in there, we're going to be ready to rock and roll, get our inspectors back in the house, get them to sign off with our little aficionado certificado, and we'll be rocking and rolling. Man, I can taste the food already. I'm just dying for it. And we may be kind of dabbling in producing some produce. I know you guys have seen the tomatoes next door growing, some basil, got some lettuce growing over there. We want to get more of that going on for the club, and more of that going to you, because we know that that's what you guys want. You guys want some organically based, healthy food, and that's what we want to serve you. So, health conscious, smart, right? Not too many places on our side of town provide that, and I think it's kind of a
matter of fact, we're losing more of a grocery store here in the area.
Yeah, you got Kroger's
up on
It's
Davison
going
Road.
down right
Yep.
here on Davison. That's going to be closing, unfortunately. It's been losing money, they say. Myers over on Pearson Road closing down. I think the Kroger's over on Pearson had
Yeah,
already
it's closing
closed.
up. Yep.
So a lot of grocers going out of business. I know that we've got the Kroger's across the street from the club that does serve, obviously have produce there. It's still in business as of now. And the VG's on Davison, that also closed. if I'm not
The
mistaken.
VG's I think the VG's on Court Street closed up, but the
There
one
you
out
go.
there in the Davison is
Davison's still
open. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But that's really significant. I mean, it's like that's food, especially the inner city. It's
Yeah.
that food desert, and I can see you guys like
is.
doing something like doing this. That
Well,
could
once
spark
you
an
get to the
interest.
north end, you still got the farmers market in Flint that folks can go to. You got the farmers market in Davison and Myers over in Davison they can go to. You got Swartz Creek's pretty well. You got the new Myers out there
Yeah.
and stuff. So once you get north though, like more by Mount Morris, north end of Flint, you start running out of options. People in Flushing
Right.
as well. So yeah, I think that it's definitely going to be a niche, and I think also that folks are now their wants are changing. They're not just looking to have access, but they want to have access to stuff that is not GMO modified, that is not grown with harmful pesticides, that hasn't been irradiated and so on and so forth. They're looking for stuff that, hey, when I go eat a salad, doggone it, nobody really wants to eat a salad. Let's be, real here. So when you do actually go eat a salad and put yourself through the misery, you want to at least make sure that it's healthy. I mean, why go through the pain of eating a salad when it's not healthy? That doesn't even make sense. I mean, that would be like eating a Twinkie that tastes bad. Nobody would do it. You'd be like, dude, it's death in a bun, and it tastes like shit. That no one would eat one. But no, Twinkies taste awesome, so you eat them anyways because they're bad for you. And just like salad tastes bad, you eat it anyways because it's good for you to make up for the Twinkie.
The reason why the scientists say that reason why we're attracted to junk food, what we consider junk food, high calories, is because our ancestors were actually needing all the calories for survival, and they were moving about all the time. So high calorie things are something we're attracted to. I mean, and empty calories, something doesn't have nutritional quality, but
I think it is a pretty well proven fact that sugar is addictive.
Definitely
I know
is.
myself. I'm an addict. Hello, my name's Jeremy. I've been eating sugar for a long time. I can't get enough of it. But yeah, no, seriously, sugar is highly addictive. It's been well documented, and there's other foods out there are as well. There's worse things that are addictive, okay, but yeah, no, we do crave junk food, and a lot of us are starting to wake up and say, hey, everything in moderation. It's okay to have a Twinkie once in a while, but the majority of the time we do need to be consuming healthy foods. And a lot of times the foods that are presented to us in the grocery store as being healthy, in fact, are not healthy. They are GMO modified. They have all types of pesticides, still present on them. They've been through an irradiation process. So there's a lot of things that I could get into to tell you why a lot of the produce at the store is pure garbage. And a lot of folks out there are starting to wake up to these facts. So when they're looking for a grocer, they want to find the one that's going to provide them what it is they're actually looking for. And big chain places like Kroger, yeah, they have a small organic section, but oftentimes it's very limited. It's also very pricey. So if you can bring produce to people at a affordable price and also guarantee its authenticity, that it's going to be an heirloom product the way that nature intended it, it's going to be grown and treated with care and in practices that are going to be conducive to your health. If I use this spray and if I were to drink the spray, it'd kill me. Well, then I don't want to put that spray on anything I'm going to eat. It's common sense. But a lot of times it's not followed in today's farming methods, and folks know that, and they want an alternative. So, yeah, I think the Holistic Center is going to be hopefully able to, in the future, maybe expound on that, maybe capitalize on that a little bit. In the meantime, right now we're kicking it with about 4 tomato plants and a couple heads of lettuce. So it's a little project, but we're looking to add on to it. And a lot of the produce, I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but when we're going to be making these sandwiches and the food and the smoothies and stuff like that over at the Holistic Center, that stuff's going to be coming from those types of sources. Farmers market, straight up Michigan grown stuff that you guys can depend on. So that right there is hard to find. You're right, John, especially on this side of town. But people are looking forward to it. They want it. And I think it's something that you can provide today at an affordable price. It doesn't have to be outrageous like you see at the grocery store. I've been shopping at the Davison Farmers Market now consistently, getting the, my meats, my cheese, my produce, all my fruits and veggies. and I'm blown away. I mean, I walk out of there, I've got literally 2 handfuls loaded down with sacks of fresh produce that, you know, I can't wait to sink my teeth into, and I spent $20. You know, the last time I walked out of the grocery store having only spent $20, it all fit in 1 sack. It was not 2 armfuls. And, I mean, most of you know what I'm talking about. The prices today are outrageous. So the good values are still there. You just got to go out and find them. Find people that aren't trying to bend you over. Trying to find people that aren't paying to ship a tomato from frickin' China. You know what I mean? It costs money. No wonder it's so expensive. All right, enough of my ranting. That's it, guys. I appreciate you being with me this week. You know, warmer weather is coming soon. Thank God. Can't wait to have that. I know you all are looking forward to it. In the meantime, try to stay warm, healthy. Take care of yourself. This is cold season coming back around again, so get ready. Get prepared. Get your emergency. Drink all that stuff. You know, it's good for you. And smoke lots of weed. Definitely. That too. All right, guys. Appreciate it. This is the Genesee County Compassion Club show. Thanks for being with me. Take care. See ya.